Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest narration of the web series, The Princess and the Human. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description. And as always, I hope that you enjoy a lifetime and more. What were you thinking? You can't just press an emergency button without a reason, Sugvani scolded her brother. It was one day later, and she had finally managed to get a hold of Keratin by catching him in his bedroom before he woke up. Keratin sat on his chair, leaning back, rocking back and forth on his hind legs. Well, he answered, grinning, you said that I should stop doing things that could make you look bad. That doesn't mean you can just breathe. Also, I didn't say make me look bad. I said can't reflect negatively on us. With which I meant not to just you and me, but the entirety of our world and our people. For the first one's sake, you're almost 5 cycles old. It is really overdue that you start acting both your age and your status. Psst, who cares? You're the one who'll get the throne. Maybe. But until then, you're still a prince. You represent both Home and the Veneri, whether you like it or not. Judging by his demeanor, he didn't care, as always. Instead, he seemed to get another idea. Why are you so sure I pressed the button? Nobody saw me. Could have also been a malfunction or an accident. Sugvani cocked her head. You mean besides the fact that you didn't even try to refute it, and more or less admitted it twice already, because everyone in his palace is a mature adult, bar one. Hey, at least I'm not punching my bed. What? I don't, what is, why would, what? What is it even supposed to mean, I don't punch my bed? She rocked forward in his chair and jumped off of it. Not you, that weird alien you brought. She's been doing it for 2 nights now. Okay, first her name is Nadine, and she is a guest from the so far uncontacted race, and you'll be addressing her accordingly. Second, why do you know what a royal guest does at night in her private chambers? I'm hungry, yes. I wanted to grab some food, and when I passed her room, I heard some weird noises. Ah, so you were just concerned, the princess asked sarcastically. Yeah. So on your way from your room, which is in the west wing, to the kitchen, which is also in the west wing, you, by chance, passed her room in the east wing in 2 consecutive nights. Well, anyway, she was all like this. He jumped onto his bed and started rolling left and right on his back, wildly kicking as well as flailing his arms around. I can't do it like her. She somehow made the entire bed shake. Yes, if someone with Nadine's strength would thrash about like that, the bed would definitely shake. I first thought it was a side effect of her malting, but she's done it last night again. Her kind doesn't melt, Sugvani corrected her brother. Of course she does, he insisted. I've seen it myself. Her face was all smeared and she kept wiping it. What else was that supposed to be? I don't know. Wait. What do you mean you've seen it yourself? That was the really just by chance. I saw her doing it through the window while I was playing in the garden, right before she went to bed. The princess stepped closer. Care to explain to me why you were in the garden after nightfall? Well, the maids don't let me do it during the day. Yes, because you're not supposed to be there. The eastern gardens are meant for guests. If you want to play in the garden, you can do so in the Sun Palace, but not here. Sugvani sighed. She couldn't keep her anger up anymore. She was too exhausted. She turned to leave the room, but looked back at her brother one more time. You know that it wouldn't kill you to not be a menace on my nerves for 5 ticks, right? She asked tiredly, before closing the door behind her. She was punching and kicking in her sleep, Gathé repeated as she took notes. According to Keratin, yes. I know this is my brother we are talking about, but I think he actually did see it. I think you should talk to her again once her language tutor leaves. This just doesn't seem right. And even if that is somehow normal, we still need to know more, even if it's just to prevent her from accidentally injuring someone. The doctor leaned back. I agree, but she insisted everything was fine. I'm afraid that if I'm too pushy, she'll just lock up on me more. Maybe if you find a way to naturally bring it up in conversation. And she definitely said she was all right. Yes, Your Highness. As stated in my report, she said, and I quote, I am in no need of medical attention. The princess seemed to think for a moment. This doesn't have to mean that she's fine, though. It just means that you can't help her. That is actually a good point. But what could it be? Why would someone move so much in her sleep? A defense mechanism? No, too exhausting. Lashing out to sounds or something like that would make more sense. Maybe an ailment that her people believe to be incurable. That's why she won't talk about it. Could it be age-related? The princess suggested. How old is she anyway? The doctor shook her head. No. She's 24 cycles old, so she'll be the same age as your mother. She still has at least 8 cycles before she has to worry about that. Oh, they have the same lifespan as us? Cathay looked up from her notes. Huh? Her lifespan. You asked for that, right? Oh, for first ones. What kind of incompetent doctor am I? And I call myself a royal physician. How could I forget to ask something so important? She slumped back into her chair. I mean, I know how. I got overly excited by being the first one to examine a new sentient species, and then got thrown off by her mathematical prowess. Doesn't excuse it, though. She paused for a moment. Of course, she is so small, it is entirely possible her lifespan is significantly shorter than ours. She might already be an elderly. If she thinks of her afflictions as simply a symptom of her age, it would all make sense. She stood up. Please excuse me, Your Highness. I have to clear this up right now. But she was with her tutor right now. He'll be able to spare 10 ticks. With that, Cathay stormed off in a hurry to the east wing. It was quite a bit of a walk. It was literally on the other side of the palace, after all. As finally she reached her destination, slightly exhausted, she took a few deep breaths. Then she knocked. Yes. She opened the door and poked her head in. Nadine was sitting next to an old man, Baron Jarchow of Clan Jukka, whose shell had already started to lose its shape a bit. It was a clan without much influence that Cathay knew only the name of, but the Baron had apparently a reputation as a capable teacher amongst higher-ranking nobles. I'm sorry to interrupt the two of you. I just need a moment. Nadine, could you tell me the life expectancy of your people? The alien girl thought for a moment. Well, if you have a healthy lifestyle, access to good medical care, and a bit of luck, 110 years is doable, and that should be 180 cycles. Anything else? No, thank you. The doctor closed the door and mechanically walked away. She didn't register where she was going. But after a while, she leaned against the wall and slowly slid to the floor. Then she started laughing. She didn't want to laugh. First ones, it wasn't even funny. But what else was she supposed to do? Facing the absurdity of the situation, 180 cycles, almost 5 times the oldest venerie ever recorded. Doctor. And still 4 times as much as a female Taishtri, who till now had been the longest living in the entire lines. Doctor! The princess's call pulled her back to reality. Why are you sitting here laughing like you've gone mad? What's going on? We were off, the doctor said, standing up. We were off. We were completely off. What are you talking about? You sound like 180. Humans live to 180 cycles. A blank stare from the princess was the answer. That would mean she's not an elderly, the doctor was almost shouting at this point. She is a child. End of chapter. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps. Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, HenryTheRed, Casper Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon W.R.E, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.